Islamic State claims the massive terror attack that rocked Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, this morning. U.S. Secretary of State expresses support for Saudi Arabia in its widening rift with Iran in an attempt to secure Syria peace talks. And French carmaker Renault share tumble as another emission scandal returns to haunt the car industry. Good evening and welcome to I-24 News. I'm Tal Shalev and these are the hour's top stories. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for a series of bombings and gun battles which rocked the Indonesian capital of Jakarta this morning, marking the first assault on the Muslim-majority country by the radical group. 7 people were killed during the 3-hour exchange of fire. However, 5 of them were the attackers themselves. I-24 News' Tamara Ziv has more.
The Islamic State group on Thursday claimed responsibility for carrying out deadly shootings and bombings in Jakarta earlier in the day, which were thought to be an imitation of the November attacks in Paris. Indonesian police said they previously received threats from ISIS that Indonesia would be in the spotlight and had made arrests accordingly.
We haven't confirmed anything yet, but from a warning it said there would be something about Indonesia that will be on the international news.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo visited the scene of the attacks and urged the public not to speculate on who was behind them.
We condemn these attacks that have disturbed the peace of society, and we want to spread this message to the nation. I ordered the authorities to catch those responsible for the attacks and even those out there that are involved in this. We, as a country, we should not be frightened by what has happened, this act of terror. We should stay calm because everything will be under control.
Police said there were at least 6 explosions and they had shot dead 3 of the attackers and captured 4. 3 suicide bombers were suspected to have been involved, while 3 policemen and 3 civilians were also killed, they said. The main thrust of the attack was on an office block, and it began with a blast outside a Starbucks cafe on its ground floor. Indonesia has been a victim of several bombing attacks in the past, claimed by Islamic militant groups. The country has been on high alert after authorities said they had foiled a plot by Islamic militants to attack government officials, foreigners and others. The country has seen a spate of militant attacks in the past, the deadliest of which was a nightclub bombing on the holiday island of Bali in 2002 that killed 202 people, most of them tourists. Police have been largely successful in destroying domestic militant cells since then, but officials have more recently been worrying about a resurgence inspired by groups such as Islamic State and Indonesians who return after fighting with the group.
The United States stands with Saudi Arabia in its latest dispute with Iran over the execution of a Shiite cleric, Secretary of State John Kerry said today. Meeting with Saudi Foreign Minister Adel al-Jubeir in London, Kerry sought to diffuse the rising tensions between the 2 regional rivals and urged to cooperate in the political effort to end the Syria crisis. The next round of world power Syria peace negotiations is set to begin later this month. However, in Tehran and Riyadh's diplomatic rift casts doubt on the whole process.
President Obama has said the United States will stand with our allies and friends in the region, and we do. And all of us would like to see a stable, secure, prosperous region in which countries do not interfere in the affairs of other countries.
Israel's 9th president and 2-time former Prime Minister Shimon Peres, who is 92 years old, was admitted to the Sheba Medical Center in Tel HaShomer on Thursday morning. According to his personal spokesperson, Peres woke up this morning with chest pains and later was diagnosed with a minor heart attack. He is currently in stable condition, as his son, Chemi Peres, updated earlier today.
My father is doing well. He had this morning, he suffered from some pain in his chest. It was a slight heart attack. He came to the hospital very quickly and was treated in a very professional way. He's fine. He's unconscious all the time. He's been talking and speaking all the time. Did not suffer too much pain. His heart is completely perfect. There's no damage that is irreversible. He's looking forward to fast recovery and going back to work. All he needs to do right now is really take some rest.
German prosecutors are offering 10,000 euros cash rewards in exchange for information that could lead to suspects in the mass New Year's Eve sexual assaults on women in the city of Cologne. More than 600 women in several cities across Germany filed complaints ranging from sexual molestation to theft and attacks. So far, the police has been able to identify 32 suspects, 22 of them asylum seekers. The incidents have increased the already existing tensions and doubts about Berlin's decision to open the country's doors to refugees and migrants, whose numbers reached 1.1 million last year. And another scandal threatens to shake the car industry. Shares in French car manufacturer Renault have fallen 20% today after reports emerged of anti-fraud police raids on several of its factories. Authorities and car manufacturers have been on alert in the wake of the Volkswagen emissions scandal, which emerged in late September, when the German company admitted its diesel engine cars had been fitted with computer software designed to flatter emissions data during tests. Here's more from I24 News.
Shares in French car manufacturer Renault fell 22% after police raided several of its factories. Investors are fearful that the company is being investigated for cheating exhaust emission tests, a practice their German rival Volkswagen admitted to doing in September of last year. The company confirmed the raids by France's Competition, Consumption and Anti-Fraud Authority and has fully cooperated with the probe, but stressed the tests have shown no evidence of devices designed to alter emission tests. But if the investigation proves damning, Renault may follow the path of Volkswagen and be forced to recall and inspect 8.5 million cars in Europe, including 2.4 million in Germany, 1.2 million in the UK, and 500,000 in the US. Stock shares of Renault have since recouped some of their earlier losses, down around 9% in the afternoon, trading on the Paris bourse, valuing the company at a little more than 21 billion euros.
Liberia has been declared Ebola-free by the World Health Organization, effectively putting an end to the world's worst outbreak of the disease. The, quote, end of active transmission was declared after 42 days without a new case in the country, which now joins Guinea and Sierra Leone, which earned the status last year. Earlier, we were joined by Gregory Hartle, spokesperson for the World Health Organization.
There hasn't been transmission for the last 42 days. It still is in survivors. We don't know how many survivors, but there's always the possibility that the virus could be transmitted from a survivor to someone else. Liberia was the first of the three countries to originally stop the chains of transmission, but we have seen over the last 10 months, 10 instances of what we call these flare-ups, where it is passed from a survivor on to someone else. And recently, that's happened twice in Liberia, unfortunately. And that's why Liberia is now the last country.
And this year's Oscars nominations are... The nominations for the 88th Academy Awards were announced earlier today. The Revenant leads the list of nominations in 12 categories, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor, followed by Spotlight and Mad Max Fury Road. Leonardo DiCaprio, who was nominated for Best Actor in The Revenant, has never won an Oscar and will compete for the award against other favorites such as Eddie Redmayne, lead actor in The Danish Girl, and Matt Damon, who stars in The Martian. The Oscars ceremony will take place on February 28th. And in somber news from the film industry, British actor Alan Rickman, best known for films including Die Hard, Truly Madly Deeply, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, has died at the age of 69. His agent and family members confirmed that he was suffering from cancer. Rickman recently enjoyed a new legion of fans thanks to his role as Professor Snape in the Harry Potter films. That's all for now. Join us again in 20 minutes. I'm Tal Shalev. Thank you for watching.